Test, test. What's going on, everybody? Patrick over here at GhostPicks ATS coming at you live. We are almost at halftime between the Dallas Cowboys and the New Orleans Saints. We'll be tracking live the rest of the way. We'll be looking at a couple numbers here during the half. This will be a very passive video, so if you're just tuning in, you can just hang along and keep the mute chatted or something, or chat muted. And just tag along here. We do have a Dfs lineup in play, and as they bring Greg Zuerlein out for a field goal, could be in a worse situation after the first half. So our DFS lineup for today was in the last video, and that circled around a Dak Prescott, Zeke Elliott fade. Fade two of the highest guys. And kind of just hope for that Saints defense, which ranks in the top 10 and getting off the field inside the red zone. Hope that they do their job, which they have tonight for the most part, as Zuerlein. Like I said, they'll attempt a 50-yard field goal, no doubt about it. Not many teams will. Drained a 55-yarder for us. So speaking of that DFS lineup, I haven't checked it out yet. Let's see how it's looking. Boomer bust is busting. We were looking for a low-scoring game here. It's actually not doing too bad. Tony Pollard, our running backs, are definitely letting us down the Michael Gallup play. That'll do it. But fading Zeke, that is our number one play today. So we will see how that finishes up here in the second half. But as far as second half lines, this game went just about exactly to plan. Dallas Cowboys first half or first quarter under wasn't lean in that last video. The Saints are one of the worst first quarter teams offensively in the NFL. Thought it could potentially change with Taysom Hill, and that is why it was not a premium play. But once again, the free little lean there that hits in relative ease as both teams punt on their first drives. Taysom Hill. This is what we expected. The bend don't break from the Saints, and just kind of try to hang in there, keep this game tight, and. Well, for the second half, I think the Saints are going to have to pick up the pace here. We have seen the Cowboys move up and down the field, and besides that one drive from the Saints, they really haven't had too much success. I think Sean Payton knows that, and we'll be coming out second half, guns a-blazing. The total right now, the second half total is what I was looking at. So first half, 20 total points went under the first half total, under the first quarter, under the first half. And let's see, we are looking here at both teams' second half numbers over the past little bit. So I said I would come on here and do this live, and this is exactly what I do at most single games. Diving on into the second half here, looking at these teams and how they progress, when ahead, when down. Do they push the play? Do they, when they're playing from behind, do they pick up their tempo? Do they play at average? And that is all via DVOA. So if there's the 0.0001% chance my man's ever watching. Shout out to DVOA. All right, so second half teams. The Dallas Cowboys have been one of the best offensive second half teams in football, as well. Yes, as well as the past 5 weeks. So over the course of the entire season, the Dallas Cowboys have had a great second half offense. And that's been even more so the case since week 3. So looking at these two teams in a second half over is very enticing. The Saints have been, like I said, they've been one of the worst first half teams in the NFL. But as far as second half goes, their offense has been able to generate some points, even under Trevor Siemian, which is a little bit odd, a little bit of an oddity. But their first half numbers under Trevor Siemian were absolutely terrible. You thought it might be Trevor Siemian. Maybe it's just the Saints as a whole. Maybe you get rid of that run game a little bit, go to the quick passing game. We'll see if Taysom Hill is able to do that. But either way, this is more about the pace of this game more so than anything else. As we saw in the first half, the Saints want to shorten this game. And in my opinion, they did so decently well. They're far outmatched in this game. And to be only down 6 points, you're within striking distance. That's Sean Payton, I'm sure he's all right with that. It's not pleased. But so here is what I am looking for in my DVOA. So pace and time of stats. So when playing from behind in the second half, the Dallas Cowboys have the 5th fastest pace of play in the NFL this year. And if you look at that when they're leading, that it is by 1 to 6. So if if it's a tight game one way or another, a 6-point game either way, they are one of the fastest offenses in the NFL. They are number 1 fastest NFL within a 6-point game either way, and number 5 overall in the second half as a whole. As far as New Orleans goes, New Orleans is almost exactly the same. So except when New Orleans has a lead, New Orleans is looking to slow it down. They are 31st in the NFL when they have a lead, and 24th. There it is, and 24th in a neutral game script. So when it's a 6-point, when they're down less than 6, they're in the top half of the NFL as far as pace per play. And that's really what you're looking for. When you minimize the drives like the Saints do in the first half, how many times do the Cowboys get drives? You get 5 drives. You score on 3 of them. You get 2 full drives, 1 with a touchdown, 1 with a field goal, and then the time runs out to end the half, and you get another field goal. So, they're doing a decent job limiting, and you see it all the time with these teams. It's like the Cowboys or the Giants and the Bucks on Monday night 2 weeks ago. The first quarter, first half, it looks like the Giants were hanging in there. And then I personally thought the Giants very well could have hung in there in the second half, but one big play, and that swung that Bucks game wide open. And, Giants playing from behind, it's a nightmare. So if it's a similar situation here today, I don't think that the Saints will be successful playing from behind. So they got to stay in this game. And so my leans will be, I'm going into the second half with just the second half over. I think that's a solid number. And then we'll be looking one way or another. If the Cowboys do score out of the gate, I'll probably be laying off and we'll be taking it nice and easy. But if the Saints scrap, I will be maybe looking to take the Cowboys live in the second half, because you've been able to see they can move the football almost at will, especially when they're throwing the ball. I don't know what they're running for right now, but it's like 9 carries besides the CeeDee Lamb. Now, that's the kind of stuff you got to do against, like I said, almost to a T. Against the Saints defense, traditional run plays don't work. You can't run it up the middle and expect to get 3 yards a carry, never mind 4 or 5. You're going to be averaging 2.5 yards a carry. Now, if you get some QB runs in there, some wide receiver jets or something like CeeDee Lamb, you saw a 30-yard run play out of CeeDee Lamb, those are the yards you get against the Saints running the football, not up the middle. And I'm sorry to the premium folks. You always come first. That I completely messed up on that one. That play got out late, around like 30 minutes before game time. The stream earlier ran over by about 40 minutes. Ended up being a 55-minute stream. I don't know. I'm new at this, and those 50 minutes flew by. I thought it was more like 25 minutes. I looked at the clock and was like, oh, my Lord. Anyways, if you have anything, if you're in the chat, or if you have any questions on the second half, if you're sweating anything out, you can holler it on in there. As far as promos go, I hope so. If anybody is in here watching or comes in later, this will be the Patrick and Rich. It is the weekend party. We are very excited to put out a weekend package. It will be $69 on the dot for the Patrick and Rich weekend combo. It'll be Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and we'll be live through Saturday morning. There will be college football, NFL, and then, Rich gets into his other thing. Rich has his hockey, which was a top-tier winner tonight. So heading into today, over the past 5 days, in my last 10 plays, I am 8-2, and Rich is 9-3 in his last 12. So catching 2 cappers at the right time. Not that both of us aren't consistent all the way through, but we both, Rich and I, have smaller cards normally. So, you put it together on the weekend, put our brains together, and really dial in, especially in such a big weekend for college football. I know Rich over the past 2 weekends has absolutely destroyed his college football, and it's been the same over here on completely different plays. But good minds, baby. You know what they say about those great minds. If you could, like, comment, subscribe. If you got any questions or anything, always feel free to hop in the chat. Shoo! Glockman, how's it going? Schultz, only one going. I got Dalton Schultz myself, and I am sweating him. Hit the 4 for 40 is better than what I was expecting in the first half out of him, no doubt, especially with Demario Davis. But I am going against Zeke in 3 leagues, so I am very much going against Zeke, which I am very comfortable with today. I think as long as he stays out of that end zone, yards will be very tough to come by. And that was kind of hinted at earlier in the video. Didn't want to give that one away. That was the only premium play, was Zeke under 46 rushing yards. So we will be sweating that one here in the second half. Hopefully rooting for a tight game and not a. Well, that is one. That's one of those plays. I actually didn't get the full write-up, but this is a game script play. You see it across NFL, sometimes NBA. A player like Zeke. So if you look at this situation today. This is my verbal write-up for this play here. If number 1 team in the NFL and number 2 teams in the NFL in non-explosive run plays are the Buccaneers and the New Orleans Saints. They don't give up explosive run plays. If you're going to do it, you got to do it in fancy ways, but it's pound, and at a low clip at that. So when you look at that and then you look at Zeke's style, Zeke is not meant to, bust out big runs anymore. So you take that into account, and then you want to look at his injuries. So if the team is ahead, what are you going to do? Probably not go to Zeke. If you're in a tight game, the Cowboys already have a pass-heavy game script in tight games down the stretch, so we'd expect it even more so with Kellen Moore. And then if they're down and they're losing, there's certainly no chance they're going to go to Zeke Elliott in the run game. So a benefactor of multiple different game scripts. Every once in a while, I'll have a play that my model will point out as a high tier play, but I still lay off of it because if a game script flips, so for example, the bigger the spread, the more stars in my model go for less points. So a team like this weekend, the Indianapolis Colts. So the Indianapolis Colts are going up against the Houston Texans, and Michael Pittman is actually a little low in my model, which is kind of surprising to me. But it makes sense because the spread's 10. You figure less opportunities. The last time they played them, they won by 20. But we'll see about the Colts there. They have been known for a letdown game here and there. So if it's in a tight game, that actually would give a boost to a guy like Michael Pittman as far as my model goes. So real hit or miss as far as game script, but in this case, as Zeke Elliott, it is just about anything happens, we should be good. Well, let's see. Second half, sweating anything. Let's see, Russ over Jimmy G, leaning towards Russ. Now that is a question and a half here. All right, so we are about 10 seconds until kickoff in this second half. We'll be going in with the second half over, but nothing more. The Cowboys will be getting the ball here to start the second half. Hey, all I'm saying is this is live. Watch out for a Saints onside kick to start the second half. Wouldn't that be something? Bring back shades of the Super Bowl where they beat Peyton Manning. They're in a dire need situation right now. Shit. It would not surprise me. I'd be ready for it if I was Kellen Moore. Especially, Kellen Moore, young coach, might not be as up to date with those crazy things. McCarthy might be in someone's ear, as bad of a coach as he is. So, TBD here. Second half things we're going with. Second half, we're going with a little bit of the over. I think the Saints in the first half, you could tell they took everything down to the last second on the play clock. With the minimal amount of opportunities, I think they're going to have to score at least 2 touchdowns, and I think Sean Payton knows that as well. You're down 6 here. At minimum, you're going to have to score 10 points, so you need at least 2 drives, maybe 3. And that's just absolutely at minimum. And the Saints were able to move the ball there in the first half as well. Take over the turnover in the red zone. I think that, they're right there. And with the Cowboys getting the ball to start the second half, if they score first, the Saints are really going to – and that's almost a given, I think, at the over. So a little TBD here as we kick off the second half. Glockman, that'll be a hell of a weekend. Yeah, it should be a hell of a weekend. I'm pretty damn excited. Rich is too. We've been both been absolutely cooking, and but college football, this is what he loves. This, nothing better than championship weekend. That's for damn sure. All right, so the Cowboys starting out here at the 20. We'll see what they do to start the second half. It'll be very interesting to see if they come out with the run. They actually ran the ball a little more than I would have liked them to, if I'm playing from the Cowboys side of my perspective. Let me see. Let me pull up the nerd stuff here. So EPA per play, it's just kind of what I live with, live by. It's one of those things. Very important. It's just very, very important. Essentially over the long run. So you look there you go. First play, what do you run? Zeke up the middle. 3 guys penetrate for the line of scrimmage for the Saints, and he loses 2 yards. That kind of stuff. There's nothing that frustrates me more. You come out in the first half and pretty much dink, dunk, do whatever you want with Dak throwing the ball, and you come out and first play, just a simple, straight-up run play. Nothing quite like it. Got to love that if you're taking the Saints. In the second 12, probably spread it out here. And get a throw, and wouldn't be surprised to see him go right back down the field throwing this rock. You saw in the first half, they definitely had a pretty good matchup outside of whoever was off of Lattimore, and they were able to have some big play success too. So, but this Saints defense comes out a little hot here, so this could be a good thing as far as the game script goes. If the Saints are able to get a stop here and come back and score, that will definitely push the Cowboys to push the pace a little bit and get on top of it. Let's see. Interesting points. Yeah, Larry. Well, Larry was the interesting point. So you're talking about the positive, negative game scripts. I think that's might be right around that timing. Saints 3 and out. Quick one. All right, they'll get the ball. Let's see what they got here. This could turn into an interesting game really quickly if they are able to keep it tight. That will be a major key here. We'll be sitting here live. It's a very passive one, so if anybody has any questions or anything, you can feel free to ask coming up this weekend. I'm just kind of hanging out, just watching the game. Thought I'd come on here and throw any free advice out here. Definitely will be looking for a side at some point in this game, but definitely a no rush. Saints right here. Let's get the ball in the 20. We'll see what they have. As far as NBA tonight, the past 2 days, I preach it. The final thing I say is, last minute, make sure you check those lineups. Make sure no one's listed as out. And sure enough, I got myself. I'm sitting on here live, on air, talking about DFS and NBA and making sure everybody's active in your lineups. And sure enough, like I said, NBA is wild. You'd never know. And it's why I take the NBA betting side very, very lightly in the early part of the season. And that is because you never know what the hell is going to happen. For some reason, there's no rhyme or reason. And sure enough, Giannis Antetokounmpo, 10 minutes before the game today, was ruled out. 10 minutes. 10. Unbelievable. That's about a record for me. But no reason. They said just personal reasons or no reason. So, sometimes you just got to take it with the punches, and this is why we don't go with the big ones. Anyways, G-Sauce, what is going on, my man? One of the best in the biz. I appreciate it, G. Really just always trying to be out here and put out some good content, because if you are winning, I am winning, and that means we are happy. That could be my slogan. Let's see. Actually, let's see. So there's some people in here hanging out. I'll dial up a little, check out some of my weekend DFS. So some of my top players of the week for my NFL DFS. Let me see. So some of the top matchups of the weekend to look for, in my opinion. Joe Burrow is a very interesting one. So especially that Chargers defense as a whole. So if you think that, well, back to the game live here, uh, but Joey B is going up against a tough defense this weekend, and that's actually one of the player props I'm looking at. Uh, I think that Joe Mixon should be able to run the ball at will against that team. I think that's what they want to do. Uh, the Chargers have been pretty damn good. I made a mistake. This is not DFS, or this is player prop. Uh, I like a little bit of under action as far as Joe Burrow's passing yards. So I think that's going to be a tight game. Uh, and if that is the case, I don't think that they're going to be slinging the rock all around. Chargers have been one of the better teams in fantasy, or just as a whole against the pass this year. That's Brandon Staley's philosophy to uh, force teams to run the ball. Nickel and dime it, you earn every single run down the field, and then they try to do the bend, don't break philosophy inside the red zone. But that's not a huge benefit for the Bengals as far as throwing the football. The Bengals have been absolutely fine running the rock this year, and in a game where they should have some success, I don't see why they would change it up. And that number is sitting at it's oddly low, so that's one of those almost stinks in my opinion. As Taysom Hill takes out for it. Ooh, get on after it, Taysom. That's good for DFS. Let's go. But as far as the Burrow thing goes, some weird numbers. He was one of like 2 quarterbacks, I think, to have multiple touchdown passes in all but one game over the first 10 weeks. And then since then, it's really been the Joe Mixon show. Partially has been because of the teams that they play and the game script. Game script. They've been whipping teams, so there's no real need for him to throw. But he hasn't even been close to this number as of late, and I think it's more so because of how teams are playing him. They're giving them the run and kind of making them earn it down the field. The Chargers play that exact philosophy. So sitting at 250 yards, and they have some decent matchups. I do kind of worry about the fact that the Chargers will be hungry and looking to put up some points on offense. They have been unable to this year in the past couple of games, which has been pretty frustrating. So we'll see what kind of philosophy they go to. But here we are. We have Taysom Hill and the Cowboys. Let's see. We're rooting for that second half over. If anything, you could probably still grab it live. But let's see. Saints still very conservative, playing this conservative game. Taysom Hill's been able to sling it all right. I guess that finger, he's grabbing at it. So that's another thing to watch always. Anytime you're watching games live, if you have an advantage over the book, every once in a while you see an injury take place, and that is something you can definitely do. But Taysom, I don't know how much bad fingers can affect his throwing anyway. It kind of sucks as it is. So, where he's just trying to hang in there and do his job. Classic running for his life out here. But this Saints offense, they're still not moving at the fastest pace, which, as for the over, isn't the best thing. They're taking their sweet time. But as long as they keep this game close, the Cowboys will be moving, and they will push the pace on the other end. And if we get the Saints as a lead, then Cowboys also will be pushing the rock. So almost any way you slice it. Let's see, shit, man, finish Dame Booker. Oof. Glockman, that's a rough one. Dame, Booker, and Adebayo all out this week. Well, look, I come into play right there. That's I was saying yesterday. Dwayne Dedman was you saw him. You had him in the lineup. He was one of my top pickups yesterday in NBA DFS. One of those guys. He's a good rebounder. He's got a decent little mid-range jump shot. He'll be able to keep it at bay while he's out. Because Adebayo, I do believe he's out for like 6 weeks, maybe longer. So that'd be a good one. Dame and Booker, they should be out for just a little while. So that's nothing too crazy there. Man, I'll tell you what, though. Taysom is grabbing that finger every single play, which is something to take notice on. Most definitely something to take notice on. I mean, he's not throwing the ball. They're running the ball every play with him, and they're running it for good chunks. So it's insane. Yeah. I don't know if he has a broke finger. We'll see if Dallas catches on to this. See, this is where a thing I don't understand coaching philosophies. Uh, I'll be doing this a little more often from now on, doing live streams of solo football games. So Sunday night, Monday night, Thursday night football. I'll be on here live, just shooting shit, doing some live stuff, talking about the game live, breaking them down from my perspective. Uh, Precisely. You're sitting there at every single play. If you're not watching the game, Taysom Hill's over here every single play. He is yanking that finger constantly, and yet Dallas is running a light box at him. Got to make him throw the ball. He makes one bet. Oh, he can't throw the ball. Bad quarterback. But at the same time, you know what? He can be effective against a team that can't run the ball. You're looking for some different angles here. I would not be surprised to see the Cowboys start to put pressure on them, and this would force the look. Yep. Very interesting. I don't think Taysom Hill can grip the ball. Ball seems to be sliding out of his hand. So TBD, that's a big one. This could be a big injury here. Could be, if the Saints do score here, it could be worth a little buyback on the opposite side, depending on what the number is. But once again, we are looking for Dallas Cowboys -2.5. I think Dallas Cowboys -2.5 is a damn good number. If the Saints are able to somehow complete this and get in there, it should be on that cusp of 2.5, 3.5. Oh my gosh. They're in danger. Saints are in danger. We might see Trevor Siemian in this game. I don't know what the heck is going on. And this is exactly why we laid off the premium side of things besides the Zeke under tonight. If you're watching this game, Trevor Siemian is on the sidelines wondering what the heck he's doing. Taysom Hill on that drive, I'm pretty sure, was 0 for 4 throwing the football and ran for about 50 yards. And now they're going for a field goal. That's desperation. He's yanking at his finger. It's got to be broke, or something. Saints field goal up. Sheesh, Saints field goal good. All right, so 13-10. It's a tight one. There is 8:26. If you were just tagging in and were unable to, I would be. But we have some action, or I got some action on the second half over here. Something light. Stay involved. It's not looking too hot, and I'm man enough to admit it. That finger injury to Taysom Hill is something to definitely keep an eye on. But then again, if Taysom Hill does go out of this game, Trevor Siemian comes in, and we are looking at an opportunity that would definitely be a boost to the over. So TBD here, TBD. We are at a commercial break. Going back, so NFL DFS for this Sunday, I do have one player in particular that I wanted to mention as, let me see, where are we at here? All right, so Javonte Williams, as far as DFS goes, he's one of these guys who is the most probably hyped up guy in fantasy football all year long. Going against this Kansas City defense, he is going to be their chance. So last year, the Denver Broncos, when they played against the Kansas City Chiefs, tried to bully them. They tried to play tough football. But this Chiefs defense has been pretty damn solid. And the one area of weakness might just be the running game. Javonte Williams has a pretty damn good matchup. You would expect Teddy Bridgewater to, Teddy covers. He covers at a clip better than just about anybody in football, especially put him on the road as an underdog. He's going to be looking for the short dump down passes, which gives him a boost as well. I think he's got a nice high floor. The price is just about right. And then the last one, just talking about some steals, Taylor Heineke. If you're in fantasy football or you need a quarterback for this weekend, I saw you, Glockman. Maybe was it Glockman? Yeah, Glockman. You were saying Russ or Jimmy G. That's an interesting one there. Jimmy G's been playing pretty damn well, especially since he got Kittle back. But his number one guy is no doubt about it, Deebo Samuel. Deebo is injured. Whether or not he plays and comes completely, completely out, and is able to be at 80% even. He looked like he was pretty banged up. I like Taylor Heinicke going against a Las Vegas defense. They get that good pass rush, but when the Raiders have not been able to get a pass rush, that secondary has not held up whatsoever. Since this Washington line got Brandon Sheriff back, it's a completely different offensive line. Heinicke has time back there to make his decisions. He's a ball player. He's a grinder. It's not a pretty one, but with those guys that you've been saying, Russ has been MIA. Honest to goodness, some of the plays, it's almost in the mind. It's weird. He's had open receivers and just hasn't hit them. And that team is just desperate for first downs. I mean, they've been bad. If it wasn't a bomb to Lockett last game against the football team, they had nothing. So Russ is a tough one there. If you're looking for a miracle, Russ can always provide one. We saw it last week on the final drive. But as far as what I would say is consistency, Heinicke's a very interesting one, especially given that Raiders defense and what I think they're going to have to do. I mean, against some of the best defenses, Heinicke's been put up 20-plus fantasy points, 5 out of the 9 weeks he started, 5 out of the 10 weeks he started. So as far as a boomer bust guy, Taylor Heinicke is in there. And if I must say, the splits, this is like a little secret one here. I don't know what it is, but for the very few people watching, if you're coming back for this one, Taylor Heinicke. If you look at his home and road splits, so I don't know what it is. Some players just play better on the road for whatever reason. I don't know why teams match up. I don't know. At home this year, he is averaging, I think, 13.6 fantasy points per game. On the road this year, Taylor Heinicke is averaging like 22 fantasy points per game as a quarterback. I don't know, and that's against teams. We got Denver, Green Bay, Buffalo, Atlanta. So Atlanta's the only bad one in that mix. And Carolina, Denver, Green Bay, Buffalo. Those 4 teams, you tell me he's averaging 20 points of fantasy against them, I'd say you're crazy, but it's been one of those things. The dude's a grinder. You add back a good offensive lineman, and that Las Vegas team has been absolutely terrible. So either my 50-50 lineup or my tournament lineup, one of those will have Taylor Heinicke paired with either Terry McLaurin or somebody in that offense as a duo play, a stack lineup. There's no doubt about that. As well as I already said on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, one of those days, the Washington football team is a free play, and in my 8.5 point teaser. So they are them and the Eagles. So if you're tuned in here and missed that one, I did say that my teaser of the week will be the Washington football team at plus 8.5 and the Philadelphia Eagles at Pick'em. So that is what we are looking for. Saints 3 and out. Don't know if it has a great look for that over. Not one bit. But we will see what they bring out here. Once again, though, the Cowboys, I got to say, they're conservative. When the Cowboys are conservative, they're not a great football team. They spread it out. They start slinging that rock. They're dangerous. They got weapons everywhere. When they start pushing it, when they're ready to push it. We saw it last week versus the Raiders. For some reason, early in that game, they did not want to push the rock. Once they got behind, once they were pressured to, they went up and down the field at will against the Raiders team. And then go to overtime, and what do? Go right back into the shell and run the ball a couple more times, get stuffed, and get behind the sticks. So if you're ever rooting for the Cowboys, you want them to throw the rock early. Every team, I preach it. It's the new analytics, whatever, the nerd. It's just a simple thing. I've always been the biggest believer. That's one day. That's my goal one day. Almost offensive coordinator NFL. You do what the defense doesn't want you to do. It's about that simple. First down, the defenses want you to run the ball. Go ahead, get your 5-yard gain. I don't want to play against an offense that first down. They're stepping back, dropping, play action bombs. That means you would truly have to cover all 80 yards of the field or whatever, and that is not fun. Doing that for 3 straight downs. That's my simple philosophy, and you see some teams execute it. I thought Kellen Moore, actually, the reason that I am not on the Saints is because I thought Kellen Moore would spread the rock around a little more, but it's like Mike McCarthy's still coaching that team. He's got the headset on from the house with the COVID guys talking about run the rock, run the rock. I don't understand. Let me see. I haven't looked at any stats for this game whatsoever, but I can only imagine 10 carries for 25 yards, maybe 2.5 a carry. Anybody? Let's see. Minus the CD Lamb run, of course. 8. Even worse. Anybody have a guess? I said 10 for 25. They have, between Zeke and Tony Pollard, they have 11 carries for 20 yards. You're wasting plays on both sides of the football. On the other side, Mark Ingram has 8 carries for 19 yards. Throw the rock. Come on. So it's between. Okay. Washington's like a top one. Yeah. How did the Bucs beat the Colts, or why? Okay, Glockman, I'd love to go over that one. We had that game. So the question on the table is, how did the Bucs beat the Colts? Other than turnovers, how did the Bucs beat the Colts? Turnovers, really. They were up 24-14. You got back-to-back turnovers. But then even at that point, then it got to a lot of people were saying that the Colts need to run the ball. And I'm on the fence with that. I mean, I'm actually with the head coach, Frank Reich, of the Indianapolis Colts. A lot of people were in his ear, buzzing them after the game, saying, you didn't run the ball enough in the second half. They only ran the ball like 3 times in the second half, and that's with one of the best run games in football. And the reason simply was because in the first half they ran the ball like 12 times. It was the same situation as these two right here. They ran the ball about 12 times for 25 yards. The Bucs were packing the box. They have one of the best run defenses as it is. So you're essentially just wasting plays. And even like this right here, you're risking – that's a bad holding call there. But you're risking getting behind the line of scrimmage. And if you don't have if you have a quarterback like Carson Wentz, you can't be in second and long, third and long every play because you're bound for interceptions, fumble, pressure. Carson Wentz is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL when you're ahead of the sticks. You saw it early in the game. They 1st and 10, I think it was. They ran that play action bomb to Duvlay or whatever. I'm drawing a blank on his name. But I think that was a first down play that they ran that bomb. When teams are least expecting you to throw is when you can throw. And that Bucs game, once they got later in the game, and the Bucs kind of knew that the Colts couldn't run, and then the Colts got behind, it was doubled down. The Colts still had a chance, and then, that the end of that game, that should have been at least a push. But yeah, hey, lucky, it happens. You do this for long enough, you catch the good luck, you catch the bad luck. That was definitely one of the worst breaks in a while. They're icing out the clock trying to run it out, and the majority of running backs actually go down. But Leonard Fournette wanted that 4th touchdown for good reasons. Taysom Hill. Yeah, that second half over might be. That's just absolutely toast. He's injured. They're playing defense. We'll see. We need a quick score out of the Cowboys here. But Sean Payton looks clueless. I don't know what he's doing. He's upset at the refs. He's hollering. I don't know if you saw it, but that's kind of stuff. Can absolutely kill a game, kill a team. So certain teams, the Bucs, Tom Brady, I'd say the top maybe 5-10 quarterbacks in the NFL, you can get behind the sticks, meaning only like 5-10 quarterbacks you can get behind the sticks and still have a successful drive. So right there, the Saints got a holding penalty on first down or clipping, and they go to 1st and 20. At that point, they're screwed. It's over. Cap the drive, put in the bag. So instead of a first down, you're talking about a 1st and 20 on a clipping call, and or a block in the back. I don't know if you're watching that. Maybe one of the worst calls, but as far as so that Bucs Colts one, INTs will completely swing any game or turnovers as a whole. You really can't. You can't. It's hard to predict them, and it's even harder to win when you get them. And when you do, it's like, so you got to take advantage of your opportunities. So why did the Colts lose to the Bucs besides the interception? In all reality, it was because they didn't turn over Tom Brady. In the first half, they had a couple opportunities. I wish I could just like pull up a quick clip like ESPN or one of those things, but Brady hit one of those balls and it should have been a pick six. I forgot who dropped it. It might have been Moore, but that was a pick six, and that's an opportunity to swing the game from a 7-point game to a 14-point game. Instead, I do believe the Bucs went down and scored. Those are the kind of plays when you play against a quarterback of the caliber of Tom Brady that you don't need them, but you're sure as hell rooting for him. And when you get those opportunities, you got to take advantage, because that offense, that Bucs offense, is as good as anybody in the NFL. It's as good as anybody ever. Tom Brady, with those weapons, those receivers, and that offensive line, he's able to take his time and kind of decipher through the defense and pick out the best plays. Unless you're able to, and the main reason I liked him was Ali Marpet. A big piece of that line was out for the Bucs, and that did make a big difference. Tom Brady was not the same, but Bucs went in there with a good game plan and did not get scared to get away from the run. So for them, the run was working, and it's really that simple. I'm never against the run. If the run isn't working, it was Rock Ya-Sin. That was it, Rock Ya-Sin. Rock Ya-Sin dropped that pick six. And speaking of double digits, look, there's the good people. I love it. There's good people over here. Wicked good. He's covered double digits at home this year. When the Bucs at home, they have been one of the most prolific offenses of all time. If I'm correct, without looking, I think they're at like 34 points per game at home, something insane. So you're talking about, boom, 4-0 against spread double digits. You're talking about you got to put up 25 points, 24 points on one of the best defenses in the NFL. So, unless you can throw it on the Bucs with their injured quarterbacks, that's your best chance. But now, the Bucs are getting healthy. I've been against the Bucs a couple times when their cornerbacks were out. But with all their cornerbacks and secondary coming back, that Bucs team, look, all right, first play. Ooh. Dak. Watch those legs. Sheesh. Saints are giving them some issues. This is the same defense we saw against the Bills last week. I thought they did a very, admirable job against the Bills last week. It was maybe the ugliest game plan I've ever seen in my life, the Saints offensive last week. And shoot, hey, this is the idea. This is the game plan. So if you're going against a Tom Brady type team, you need to get pressure with 4. And that's what we're seeing out of the Saints tonight. If you can get pressure with 4, it allows you to do different coverages on the back end. And for quarterbacks like Dak, Brady, if you run one defense against them, they're probably going to pick you apart. And that's it. It's simple. If you got to disguise it. And that's you're preaching to the choir. Got to disguise the defense. The Cowboys, Saints, you've seen it all game long. Pressure with 4, you're able to go man. You can go too deep. You can bring the safety down and go cover 3, or you can go cover 1 and bring a little bit of pressure. It's one of my favorite things. I love watching defenses and the way they try to go against smart quarterbacks. There's Dak. First down. What's he got? A bomb down the field? Maybe gets a pass interference? Nope, they're not throwing those flags this game. But yeah, it's absolutely, it's tough. It's always tough. You got to do what people aren't expecting of you, and that's something that Brady is great. Yeah, they can't cover. Hey, speaking of the Bucs, though, this is the time of year I always say. So if you're ever on your own, if you're ever doing anything, if you're ever out there and you're still watching this video and taking things by yourself, you always want to look to the week ahead. Oh, well, I'll be damned. Look at that. There's our guy going down the field, doing his thing. Shoo! That was so close. We were that close. Live. Dang. Tony Pollard. We were that close, Glockman. We were that close to the NFL DFS. We went with Amari Cooper as our DFS captain. We had Tony Pollard in there at the start and hit an audible, and Tony Pollard takes that sucker 70 yards. See, look, big play in the run game. It's every once in a while you get to see it live, and you can see some reactions. This is the stuff I'm talking about. You can't beat the Saints running the ball up the middle, first play, second play, third play with Zeke Elliott. It's not going to work. You need to get chunk yardage. They get a toss play outside to Tony Pollard, and they take it 70 yards to the house. Whew. Love to see it. All right, well, there we go. Now, all of a sudden, that second half over is back in play. And we'll be sweating that one out. So we got 20-10 score. That's not ideally what I was looking for as far as the Saints go. I don't think the Saints can come back in this one. Man. Yep, I think this is going to be a layoff for the rest of the game here. At least got to see. Let me see what these number is here on the Saints. Let me see. -10. It's the $1,000,000 question. I don't think Taysom Hill is healthy. I really don't. So far, I think when he's thrown the ball, he can't throw the ball. He physically can't throw the ball. If they start behind the sticks, they're done. But this is the final drive, so this is the game here. If there is any time to take the Saints, it will be now. There's no doubt about that. Sean Payton this is do or die. Do or die. And, in my opinion, this Saints defense, I don't think they're going to give up more than 3.5 more points. If the Cowboys team total under, that would be one play I'd be interested in. If it's under 27.5, I don't think the Cowboys get 2 more scores. So that's an interesting one there, potentially. They have all of their drives have been off of the big play. So they had the big play to Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb on the one drive, and then were able to get the touchdown there. And then that one obviously was a 70-yard touchdown. The other drives, it's been hell for the Cowboys getting up and down the field. But Tony Pollard, I'll be damned. So where's my guy from earlier? Who was that? Oscar, I think. There we go. I love it, Glock, but the Pollard over. Oh, look, Taysom Hill. Yeah, if you're watching this game, you really just don't have any hope. It's got to be Trevor Siemian, honestly. And if Trevor Siemian comes in the game, the live over is right back in play. He'll be slinging it. Talk about interceptions. Trevor Siemian is not afraid to throw a pick. That's the kind of guy I love to have to take a live over. He's one of these guys here. If he comes in the game rather than Taysom Hill, Taysom's just going to try to run this ball all the way down the field and just, oh my gosh. They're desperate. They're 2nd and 11, and they're running the ball just straight up the middle. Yeah, I'm glad I don't have the Saints. This is a tough one here. Taysom with the splint, literally just turning around, handing it off. I imagine, though, it will be 4-down territory just about the rest of the way for the Saints. So I'd expect extreme aggression out of these guys, and that is why, the 10.5, if it was 10.5 on the live line, I'd like the Saints. I certainly don't think they're going to get smoked in this game, even though as predictable as they are, still stopping that running quarterback. Oh, my gosh. Cam Newton Jr. They're scrappy. That's about all I got to say. So let me see. Now that we're starting to kick with Taysom Hill and whatnot, I feel like Tony Pollard, the daily fantasy, might just be kicking for this afternoon slate. Still need a little bit of Amari Cooper. There's zero doubt about that. But as far as the DFS goes, hey, we have moved into the money. Nothing crazy. But damn, yeah, if we had that Tony Pollard as the number one play, that would have been that probably would have done it. So today's DFS, we were going for the big one. That was one. There was no way you could go for a 50-50 lineup tonight with all the injuries around the board. Kamara, both tackles for the Saints. You're talking about Amari Cooper, questionable. backup receivers injured. You got the head coach for the Cowboys out. So there's way too many variables going on today to, put a half team out. But we'll say, well, why not go for a lottery here and play some of these high variance guys? So we actually went with the Zeke Dak fade. So Tony Pollard. We have Greg Zuerlein as a kicker. He's got 10 points. So really just rooting for Amari Cooper. We could have a nice little payday there. But that is for those lucky sons of guns. Maybe, maybe not. Last night NBA was great. But this game, I mean, this is Wicked saying it right here. This is Tebow kind of stuff. They are desperate. This is kind of stuff. They're empty in the bag. This is the stuff I was expecting last week when I took the Saints. Anything and everything they can to get yards. It doesn't matter, what the deal is. It's ugly. Who gives a damn if it's ugly? It's so much better than that. Ooh, let me see. Am I still on here? I get exited off. I think I'm still on here. No. Last week, it was the most vanilla game plan I've ever seen. It was run the ball up the middle, run the ball up the middle, run the ball up the middle, punt. Run the ball up the middle, run the ball up the middle, throw a 15-yard out on 3rd and 13, and punt. There was no desperation. This here, I mean, they're going to empty backfield, splitting it out, lead fullback, just double pulled guards, everything that Sean Payton can do right now to keep this team in the game. He's putting out there. So this is what I was expecting last week. So this is good to see. At least, not completely wrong. Just, maybe just a week wrong. So we'll see what these guys got. They're scrapping, that's for damn sure. So Saints head into the fourth quarter down 20-10. I'm sticking to the side, the fourth, so that we're looking for 3 scores in this fourth quarter here. Any 3 scores just should do it. 14.5 more points for that second. So I do like the fourth quarter over, especially if the Saints are going to be into their bag like this. But they need to score here. They need to score here. If they don't, this game is toast. But anyways, let me see. So for the fourth quarter, I don't know. Do believe I'm going to get out of here for the fourth quarter and leave you on that note. If there's any questions or anything, I'll be back on here just about every game, every primetime game from now on. Thursday night, Monday night, Sunday night. If it's a standalone game, I will do my best to be here and looking for any live plays, as always. It's one of my favorite things to do, looking for live plays. So if you're on the premium side, this is actually the best stuff as far as like the timing goes with those live things that you see with those emails all the time. I'm always looking for a buyback on teams. Just because you have a team one way, there's value on one side doesn't mean the buyback on the other side isn't just as valuable. So, shoot. On that note, December 2nd, Rich and I are doing a banger this weekend. Weekend party package, $69. Can't beat it. He's 9-3 last 12, 8-2 on the flip side for myself over all plays over the last 5 days. So good luck to him. Good luck to me. We'll be going it together. As far as everyone else, thanks for tuning in. If you enjoy it, throw a thumbs up. If you're not, if you have any recommendations or anything, you can always feel free to throw anything in the comments. I look at them all the time. My own mother gives me damn comments, tells me I can't read this stuff. Help me out. So make it bigger. So, anything and everything, any kind of good comments, bad comments, they all help to make this stream or make this channel better over time. So thanks for tuning in, and good luck. God bless. Grind on. Peace.